The year is 1147 AD, and the Second Crusade has begun. Great armies of the West have rallied together and now march east, or sail east, as they look to reclaim other parts of the Holy Land and expand the Kingdom of Heaven in the name of God and the Pope. But on another front, there is another crusade going on, and crusaders that are destined for the Holy Land have found themselves embroiled in the reconquista as the Kingdom of Portugal looks to take Lisbon for itself and establish it as their capital. The Portuguese army, backed up by English, German, and Flemish crusaders, have besieged this city, held by the Almoravid dynasty. Now look to hold it. 20,000 crusaders must break through the walls here and defeat the 15,000 defenders inside. But can they do it in this great 1212 AD historical siege battle? Yes, we are back with some more medieval action for you here today, guys. And oh, I am pumped. It is going to be back with some more 1212. It has been a hot minute since we've covered the mod. I do apologize. I've just had no real replays to cover and no real time to do any sort of scenarios either. For it, we've been very much embroiled with Game of Thrones recently, but it's good to be back with some 1212 as well. One of the original amazing mods for Attila Total War, and yeah, we have an incredible 4v4. This battle comes down to the wire. It really does. Like there is not a lot left. It's a really fun siege. Yeah, we have two Portuguese armies. I think we have one on this side over here, landing with his whole host of towers. And then we have a Trier army, which is representing the German Crusaders. And then over on the other side over here, we do in fact have a English army representing the English Crusaders that will take part in this. There was about 6,400 English Crusaders, which nearly outnumbered the Portuguese, who had around about 7,000 troops of their own. We have another Portuguese army here as well, ready to go in as well. So yeah, I'm very excited to see how this one goes. Balance power stacked, I would say 2/3 in the Crusaders' favor. They have 10,000 troops to 9,600 defenders. So yeah, should be a pretty tough one. Certainly since like the Crusaders have a lot of very elite looking units, like the English Foot Knights already going over the walls. There's a lot of heavy infantry, and already they've managed to get a landing here. They've managed to immediately get off the walls, but they are going to get punished for this. The Jund al-Nasra, a heavy cav unit here, is about to slam in to these English Foot Knights. And they're going to regret that they ever got on that boat to go on crusade to the Holy Land. But yeah, so the Second Crusade was a very much a multinational sort of expedition. Led by a whole host of different lords and kingdoms. And the Flemish and some German lords and the English all decided to basically combine their fleets and all kind of travel together, just for security and safety, basically, in the Second Crusade. Because crusading, even as a crusader, when you're traveling across Europe, can be pretty dangerous. And also when you land, you then got to try and coordinate up with other forces when you're there. I mean, they're lucky at this point, unlike in the First Crusade, where there are obviously no Christian forces waiting for them. In the Second Crusade, there is the Kingdom of Jerusalem waiting. But yeah, anyway, they all sort of gather. I think it's at Sandwich or somewhere like that, or Southampton. It's beginning one of the S's. I can't remember the fleet where it basically gathers, and then they sail, and they have to dock at Porto for supplies, and they get asked by the King of Portugal, who is Alfonso I, of course, of Portugal. He asks basically the Crusaders, well, you've got an army ready to go, and I've got, some Muslims that need killing. They're not in the Holy Land, but they are, some Muslims that need killing, and that will help you, get to heaven anyway. So yeah, they basically help to relieve the siege of Lisbon. In history, they just starve out the defenders, but there probably were some forays, and there are recreations of sort of like the siege, where there are siege towers moving towards the walls, suggesting that they did at least try some assaults. They just did not succeed. So we'll see whether it succeeds here today in history, or whether they'll be forced to go back to just starving out the Muslim defenders. But yeah, after they do take Lisbon. Most of the Crusaders actually decide to just settle in Lisbon. They decide that they've done their crusading. They think that's job done. They're like, well, my soul's going to go to heaven now. I don't need to go to the Holy Land and continue on and, maybe potentially die there. I can live quite happily in Portugal in the service of the Portuguese king instead. So a lot of them do that. And only a few of them go on to continue in what is arguably a disastrous crusade, the Second Crusade, where they try and take Damascus and fail to do so. Trier landing here on the walls. Heavy Knights. You don't often see Trier, which was kind of fun. Flanders was also the other faction that was available to the attackers to use. So we did say it had to be 2 Portuguese and English, and either a Flemish or a Trier army was the option for like the German Crusaders. So they did choose Trier. It's probably a little bit better in the case it's got a good shock infantry. Portugal doesn't really have great shock infantry. England's got some, but I wouldn't say it's great. So yeah, I think that's why they picked it. As you can see on this side here, the attackers, though they've had one infantry unit absolutely smashed to pieces there by the cavalry, they have taken most of the walls. I mean, there isn't a lot of infantry on the walls here for the Muslims. They're just putting a minimal up here, then it's the old strategy of then shooting up onto the walls with your crossbows to kill as much as possible. So yeah, we've got much weaker infantry here in the, I don't even know the names of these guys. Mashain al-Hasham. They are holding back. They're a medium infantry, so they can kind of hold their own. I mean, these are English foot knights with triple bronze chevrons. They had a lot of cash to spend. We had no like set army comps. It was basically just like, here is a rule set of what type of units you can bring and how many of them. And then it was just kind of, and make sure you bring tier 1 units, of course, because it is 11:47, so we're before the 12:12 AD start date. But it should be absolutely fine. The similar sort of style of equipment would be starting to be being used at this point anyway. So yeah, so that was pretty much it. So people had a lot of cash left over, and we're using a lot of chevrons anyway, is what I'm trying to get to. But yeah, you are going to see some kind of insane chevrons for some of these units. But the old strategy of pitting units on the wall and then shooting them with crossbows does absolute wonders. As you can see, these dismounted elected knights losing decisively, triple bronze chevron or not. And same here with this shock infantry as well. They're dropping. I think these are what are these? It won't tell me. It just keeps telling me heavy siege tower, which I assure you, this shock infantry is not a heavy siege tower. But I think it's these guys back here, the Brabazonian Godendags. I think that's who it is. So these are, I guess, Brabazonians. I think they're from Brabant. So these technically are Flemish.
Our men are breaking off.
But they are fighting on the wall here. They are struggling. I mean, I was going to say also massively helps. You've got like things like fire projectiles helping, -4 morale. That's coming from the archer towers there. It's a massive bonus as well. So, yeah, this is why defenders get less money, because they have defenses on the side and they are stacked as well. We are using medieval custom cities as well. So we have a beautiful city here as well with a cathedral. This is, I guess, well, seems a bit, this should really be a mosque, not a cathedral, I guess, because, well, Lisbon, I guess technically at this point is a Muslim city, I guess. There probably was Christians in it, so they might have had a cathedral or a church at least, or like the final stand, like a little citadel there, or a lone tower as well. Very cool. But it is a very cool city. I do like it. It's just it's not like a unique map, but it does work quite well for Lisbon. That is for sure. But yeah, it looks like they're starting to take the wall, though. You're about to see the routing medium melee infantry there. They have nearly broken. Still holding on this wall here, but there's a lot of infantry. This was a big mistake, I felt like, by the Portuguese player. Got a lot of infantry. Got 1, 2. Well, this one technically is engaged. Is Cavalry there, but these 2 Spanish Order Foot Knights are not engaged, and they are just freely being shot here by Andalusian heavy crossbows, which, my god, these guys are the goats of this faction. So this is the Almohad Caliphate, which come after the Almoravid Caliphate, both rule in Spain. These guys are just a little later than the Almoravids, but they work perfectly well as the Almoravids, and they have a similar name, so that also helps. But they are Spanish Muslims. This is this faction anyway, so it represents the defenders pretty nicely. We've got these Spanish Order Foot Knights, which look suspiciously like Templars, which I didn't know until like not long ago, the Templars did have like hospitals, and so did the Hospitallers. They had like hospitals and temples in Spain, which then eventually become like the Order of Calatrava and Order of Santiago. As like the Templars get persecuted, those orders start to appear a little bit more. So and a lot of Templars join those orders. I think they'd already appeared before the persecution, but then like basically all the Templars and all the properties just kind of went to those guys, and they just kind of continue on with the Templars, just under a different name in Spain. In a sense, a bit like how a lot of the English Templars kind of just got politely asked just to join the Hospitallers so we don't have to kill you.
Our men run from
But yeah, a lot of
enemy.
history. I don't know why I'm in a bit of a history-telling mood today, so I do apologise. There's not a lot to really commentate on. It's just basically assault on the wall right now going on. I mean, the first wave is slowly getting killed off here. You can see these Brabazonian Golden Dags are all dying off. They're doing a much better job, I'd say, of holding this wall, but also putting a lot more onto the wall. But they are losing here. Artillery is coming in, so they do have 2 trebuchets do the attackers. The defenders have 1 trebuchet, like actually on the ground. I think they did bring a wall-mounted one as well, which is over here, which is kind of just out of the game. It's not really. It has used its ammo. I think it has like done a little bit of damage to some of these spears. Yeah, not really actually been used. So it really is a 2-to-1 advantage to the Crusaders here, as we'll just kind of refer to them today. But yeah, they're moving the trebuchets. Look how close they're getting them. Shame that they brought crossbows, because they can't use fire arrows. If you had archers, you could arc over and probably burn this trebuchet right now. But yeah, anyway, they've knocked down a tower, weirdly enough. I don't know why they did this. That actually stops their access point down here, which, actually, weirdly enough, the Muslims are still defending. They don't need to defend this. They can't come down here anymore. A dumb Attila mechanic. If you destroy a tower, it means you can't come down here. I mean, it makes sense a little bit. Rome too, they didn't have that mechanic, though.
Is running from the enemy.
Can still come down. So yeah, one of the few things I dislike about Attila. More Spanish Order foot knights landing. What else is on here? With the boys in blue. I presume these are the Calvaros Apiedos. They've landed as well down here. Spears. Trying to hold. These are also a really good unit for the Muslim defenders. These heavy spears. The Mustarab Al-Jund heavy spear unit. Really, really good.
The men are running. Stand and fight, damn you!
Yeah, the spears here, spears are actually decent in 12-12 now. It's a bit different to like other other Tiller mods, like Dawn of Stays is what I was going to say, where spears aren't necessarily so great. They're a bit more better for holding. Spears can push in 12-12 to an extent. They've got pretty decent melee attack in a lot of departments and a lot of factions. So yeah, they're actually not too bad. They're holding the wall pretty nicely here. I'll look at on this side. We're absolutely demolishing these units. I mean, their crossbows must be getting some really nice kills. I mean, they are going to route this unit here. They could just put another one onto the wall, though, like a spear here, or just hold at the bottom of the tower. The crossbows won't be able to get any nice angles, but I mean, they can just turn their attention to this unit over here, or this unit over here, which is still being held as well. Yeah, not a lot really, like I said, not a lot really to commentate on at the moment, because it's just a lot of wall fighting taking place.
Our men have rallied.
But they do look glorious. We don't often see like the Portuguese in action, which it's really refreshing as well. Like the Trier in Portugal, we don't see the Almohads that often either. And there you go, they have come off the walls. This is the second time the Crusaders are off the walls. This time, at least, they don't have the danger of being smashed by cavalry. As I said, they're going to deal with heavy spear infantry, like at the other flank.
Our men run from the enemy.
Yes, if you're enjoying the 1212 AD action, and generally if you're enjoying the Total War content on the channel at the moment, I'm really happy at the moment with some of the stuff coming out. I've been really, like, just, you know, proud of what we're putting out at the moment on the channel. Do feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you're around here as well. We're working towards 15k subs. We're already on our way there. We're like 1/10 of the way there. So yeah, thank you very much for all the new subscribers that have come along and watched the content. And if you want to get involved in sort of helping us on our journey to 15k, you know what to do. But yeah, hopefully we'll get more 1212 AD content out soon. I've got a few more cool scenarios I'd like to do. And I'd like to try and get some more sieges done. And maybe try and do a stream or two as well along the way. We've got Andalusian heavy crossbows still picking off targets up here. And these guys can melee pretty well. They are heavy crossbow infantry. So they actually, as long as they don't lose their general, which is pretty detrimental in 1212 when it comes to morale. More so, I'd say, in a land battle than a siege. Because it's like things like outflanking that can really do you over. But these guys can probably hold pretty well if they have their general and they keep hold of it. Another unit is technically landed, but there is about 3 guys and a goat that have landed there. Not really much of an imposing threat, but there is an opportunity. There's nothing guarding this wall here. Like, the English could just, like, drop a load of stuff off. Problem is there's cavalry waiting here. The Muslim defenders have got plenty of cavalry waiting. They are ready to land it. It's an interesting unit, is this unit. It kind of looks very inspired by Christians. I don't know if they are technically, like, Christian warriors that are fighting for the Almohads or something, but they look very like the Spanish cavalry. I don't really know a lot of the lore behind that, whether they're just armored like that, but they look very Spanish looking anyway. So it might just be that they are, you know, native Spaniards that are serving the Almohad crown. I'm not sure. What is this unit that's fighting on the wall here? Oh, I think it's the Javis. Yeah, Maghrebi tribesmen. It is. So they're using like literal cheap infantry to hold back a much more expensive unit, and they're still doing damage to it on the wall. They're actually causing, like, the tribesmen to win.
The enemy have captured the gates.
Yeah, which gates have they captured them? Let's go and have a look at that. That's a change. Oh, right. They have destroyed the gates over here, which I think has actually just killed a whole bunch of their foot knights. This is the danger in Attila. Just like kind of collapse and kill so many of their troops. They have actually got off the wall here, which I think these guys are the ones that them coming off the wall has caused the capture of the tower. And they've just been encircled because I think most of their unit died while coming down the wall. But that has also now made it much harder to take this gatehouse. To come through the gate, you can't come off these points here. And there are obviously a few other landing points. There's still this one over here, which is being still valiantly fought for by the Muslims. This one is still very much viable. This is probably the best way off for the Christians. They've just got to somehow nullify the cav. But yeah, the Muslim player is doing a pretty good job right now of keeping the cav way back. Like, he's so far out of archer range. I mean, there's no trebuchet on this side. They put them both on the other side. So yeah, they're not going to get shelled either by artillery. Kind of feel like Trier's looking a little low. Trier also, by the way, has stopped landing on his side. He hasn't stopped in. He's actually joined Portugal in landing over here. So they're going for a joint expedition in this corner, which is not a bad idea. This corner kind of works if, like, for instance, here, you can see Trier crossbows are setting up there. I think they are trying to get side shots into the spear unit, which is a light spear unit. It's definitely a great target for the Christians to try and take out. They'll munch through that. I think there are some medium spears now being sent up to shake retainers. But yeah, that's a really good angle there to try and take advantage of as the crossbows. They can arc as well, crossbows, so they shouldn't have an issue unless it's just pathfinding and setting up. They don't need to be in loose formation either. That's probably not helping them. They just need to be in normal formation and then hit these light spears in the back. That's all they need to do. You can see the opposite is happening over here. So you've got the heavy crossbows of the Muslim defenders here, the Almohads. They are hitting the Spanish Order foot knights in the side while they set up. Oh, fiery ball of justice. Oh dear, poor guys. Oh, the banner carrier as well. He's been absolutely nuked. Is he all right? The officer. He's definitely not all right. Oh no, rip in peace to him. Oh, the banner carrier has just tanked that hit like an absolute champ. That guy may be a god. Not so much his officer, though. But yeah, this is a little bit more positive on this side. They've actually managed to get off the wall with some sort of, like, you know, sizable force. There's 3 units off the wall, which is a relatively decent amount. And they have had no cav to actually go in and support this. I'm guessing maybe, I mean, the crossbows covering here are probably not helping yet. They're actually nuking the heavy crossbows here, which that's kind of their purpose. You know, range, taking out range is kind of a good thing. But if they're absorbing all the ammo, you know, from the attacking range, so the defending crossbows, that's not bad. That's better than their infantry, you know, taking it. But I would say that Muslim infantry is weaker anyway than the Christian infantry, so they need to somehow even this up. They don't really want those crossbows to die if they don't need to. They're going to need them as support. But I would say in a typical, like, Christian versus Christian, that's fine. You've got pikes and polearms typically that you want to keep alive. So losing your crossbows is not a big deal. But in this situation, I would say that's different. I would keep those crossbows alive. Like I said, pretty good hybrid unit. Not that they are technically a hybrid unit, but in my opinion, they are sort of. Since they're heavy crossbows, they can do a pretty good job.
Units have rallied and returned to the battle.
I love the colours of like some of these factions, like the red and the yellow here, which is very Spanish, ironically, enough for the Almohads here. And then you've got the blue and the yellow of Portugal, which is pretty typical Portugal.
Our men run from the enemy. This is shameful.
Yeah, that is not going well. So yeah, those side shots coming from the crossbows there, I think that's what's really helping out that fight there. And they actually are kind of going to break through it. Light spears there. I don't know why they decided to make this line longer. The Sheikh retainers here, they should have just had one thin line. I mean, they should really fall back. They don't even need to hold here. And also it's concerning they've got range onto the wall. So you've got light slingers. So yeah, Portugal has slingers. I mean, so most of the Spanish or Iberian factions have them, like the Christian ones. So it's quite a unique thing for them. Very odd to see in a medieval world, really, use slingers. But yeah, they're using those. They're getting some decent kills, actually, I believe.
Our men are breaking off.
But yeah, the walls are pretty much now in the hands of the Crusaders. There's literally like a little bit of a holding here by the Muslims at the moment. Crossbows now getting onto the wall here for Portugal on this side. So yeah, as soon as you start getting crossbows onto the wall, or any range unit onto the wall, it kind of is over in the wall defense. Like, you can't really also hold this gate necessarily, because they could just put archers above this wall here and then just shoot down into the spears. That makes the job really hard. They have actually landed another spear unit as well here. Oh, another unit, and it's a spear this time. Cav is going in. There is pinning the spear trying to do the work, so the Cav doesn't get, like, you have to frontally charge spears. They are technically side charges. They will still take losses. That is another English infantry unit that has fallen into the cavalry trap. I love doing this. I think it's such an efficient strategy. Bringing like one heavy cav as a defender by your general, which actually in this case, as these like Almohad factions, can't bring a heavy cav general. Just medium. But bringing a heavy cav and then just doing this, rinsing and repeating. Oh, it's beautiful. It really is. And it can really even up like a numerical disadvantage if you do have one. But there you go, another spear unit gone. We have got Shark on the wall here. These are going to be probably the next target for all the crossbows. Those axe sergeants, they go in against the swords. And these medium swords probably will lose if they're left to their own devices, these two. But I have a feeling that axe sergeant's probably just going to get focused down. It's actually losing itself. I mean, it is getting technically like the odd crossbow bolt fired at it, which is why it's losing. There you go. Yeah, the cav falls back. Still really healthy. 54 out of 60 in that one. This one's 78 out of 80, so yeah, even better. So yeah, really good. I didn't realize, I brought this one. I was like, oh, it's a cheaper one, but it's actually, yeah, a much smaller cav unit than the one over there. Did not even realize. Yeah, then we've got generals here, as I said, like they have medium shock cav. They're not ideal, that is for sure. That is a tiny baby unit. There's a lot of cav here for the attackers, which this was something that we critiqued on, like. They haven't made a breach. I'm not saying that's necessarily that they're going to lose. They haven't made a breach yet. I would have made a breach immediately. And I mean, like, I'm going to get my cav in. It's also just a better way to get your infantry into the battlefield rather than going over the walls, which, as you're seeing, is laborious and costly. Like, numbers-wise now, both sides are pretty even. They have literally a 100-man advantage. Like, if you make a breach, you have a constant way in. I mean, defenders obviously can defend it, and you probably know where you're going to come. But it also allows cav to do a lot of work. And yeah, I think it's just a better idea. It's a better strategy in a siege to make a breach. Towers work as well. I always advocate stretch your opponent as much as possible. I do always think maybe land the odd unit on the wall, take the breach, you know, stretch and test their defenses. Yeah, these. Okay, we've got a heavy spear losing in here. That's about to break actually, but the Sheikh retainers are holding for now. It does seem as though the Muslims are going to, on this flank here, are holding to their guns and they're going to try and defend the wall. And they're sending that spear into the fight. I don't think they needed to. Like, they're losing here, yeah, but they're just going to lose again if you keep sending more stuff. And like they're getting a lot of kills here with these slingers and these crossbows right now. They're doing a lot of damage down here to units that are reasonably pretty decent. These Sheikh retainers aren't bad, that's for sure. They're not as good as the other spears, which are also losing over here. Again, it's because of that range. This is the devastating effect of having range units as an attacker on the wall, and you sort of keep fighting by the walls. You can just get beautiful side shots like that. Like, those crossbows cannot miss. You just go aim at anyone in yellow and red, you'll hit him. You'll probably kill him. It's an armor-piercing round. Yeah, the spears by Portugal just need to pin them. They're actually losing as well, which makes sense. It's a medium against a heavy. They should. So this has become a strategy of the attackers on this side. They're having a lot more problems, you'd say, than on the other side. The defenders there, I feel like, not having a hard time, put it like that. I wouldn't say it's been an easy job. They've it's much more difficult now that there's range units on the wall for them. Axe Sergeants, I think, are going to... Well, actually, no, this is a different Axe Sergeant. Sorry, they've sent two up here now. And both are feeling the wrath of that medium melee infantry and the crossbows combined. Yeah, very nice little combo there. Again, that's just like the early stages of the siege. Doing the same thing here, just, you know, pinning. Like, really good, like, arguably significantly better units in melee. And then just shooting it in the side with a crossbow. I'm intrigued to see those crossbow kills at the end of the game. Yeah, I'm also been impressed with these guys. These guys have held in the corner for a long time. I mean, there's another fresh spear that has been sent up just to, you know, really reinforce they ain't getting out of here. But yeah, Portugal keeps sending infantry in here to, you know, grind. He's got another one ready to go. There's a Spanish Order Foot Knight here. See whether that works. Trier and the other Portugal on this side still... I mean, they're sort of making progress. Actually, this unit has gone a little further, Spanish Order Foot Knights. I think it has been charged by the light shock here. Which, to be honest, these guys should be vaporized by crossbows. Like, this is light shock cavalry. And I think this side they decided to bring light cav instead of heavies. They're like, oh, we'll just cheap out but get a couple of extra cavalry. But yeah, they're in prolonged melee. He needs to micro these guys out, otherwise they're going to die. But I think, yeah, he's going to get a free cav kill here, or, well, no, maybe not. Some free cav kills. Oh, no, maybe still. Oh, no, there he goes. There he goes. Other cav has come in. He's actually flanked all the way around, and he's coming for a rear charge. I think the other cav is now going to sandwich it. There you go. That Spanish Foot Knight has progressed the furthest, but it's still dead. But there's a lot of routing units here going on. I like that spear's routed. It's re-rallied, but it's, you know, they're getting pounded here. I think the Muslims need to think about falling back on this side. Maybe fall back, like, I don't know, to maybe, like, hold this choke point here and then, like, hold along here somewhere. Maybe as an option, because they're running out of infantry, like, really badly. I mean, the crossbows are also nearly out of ammo, so they can go into melee. Like I said, they're a hybrid unit, in my opinion. But, yeah, like, you don't want to be, you don't want to necessarily be doing that just yet. Still a lot of men to get through. Yeah, if you ever want to get involved in any of these 1212 AD sieges, whether it's, you know, a scenario one or we do some streams or anything like that, or you want to send in any of your own replays, do join my Discord. The link is down below in the description. Got a huge community there of Total War fanatics. And yeah, it's a really, really nice bunch of people there, and, you know, always you know, happy to sort of take on new players that maybe are new to Total War, or veterans who have played thousands of hours in, you know, any Total War, to be honest. So yeah, like I said, always looking for more players, and then people to, you know, get involved and help create these scenarios, because the more scenarios we do, and, like, you know, the more battles we do, like, on the Discord, if they're really close and really fun, then the more content for the channel that you get to enjoy, guys. This is like an execution squad in itself. I mean, this is a little better, at least for the Almads. They're like face onto the crossbows. They've got their shield wall ready, but it's still as brutal. You'd be like, just focus, fire, aim for the gaps in the shield wall. And they're still dropping like spearmen. These guys haven't moved forward, so they are very vulnerable. Yep, told you. That's why you put your shield down and move forward to the front rank. Yeah, they've lost 30 guys. They're just gonna stand there. And this is what I mean. This is great. A great trade here for the Portuguese. They don't have to lose a single man. Actually, this is Trier doing the shooting. But yeah, the Crusaders don't have to lose a single man. And they can just gun down this very good, very effective spear unit from like 160 down to 0 if they wanted to. Until it breaks. And they won't lose a single guy. I mean, at the moment, there is way too many range units on the wall for the defenders to make a concentrated choice on which one they're going to shoot at. Like, it's almost, you've got too many options which one to shoot at. I'm impressed as well these tribesmen have like held on. I presume these are maybe the same ones. They might not be, actually. Spanish Order Foot Knights here, they are doing work though. I mean, they are now getting the revenge after the early setbacks they had. It's a triple gold chevron dismounted Elector Knight. That is disgusting. That's a sword variant. There are shock variants out here as well. Dismounted Electors guard they are actually. Oh, they're not knights, they're guard. They're guarding the, I presume it's just the Elector Count or whatever. What's his name? Oh no, he's Archbishop Elector of Trier. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, yeah, these guys are nasty. It's 70 of them, so you know it's a very good unit. And yeah, they are gold chevron as well. My gosh, I don't know if they're. I mean, that's a tiny unit. I wonder if they're better than the Varangians. Probably not. Varangians being a bigger unit, I would have thought. But often a small unit like that, because we're on like ultra unit sizes, I'm pretty sure. Like a small unit like that, that shows kind of like how elite it is. Pretty damn nasty. I see what Portugal's trying here. He's trying to get his crossbows to shoot over this tower into the backs of these guys. Free up another way down. We'll see whether that works. They haven't started firing, so it's hard to tell. Yeah, no real change on this side. We're in a bit of a Cold War status a little bit. I guess, actually, no, the Muslims have made an offensive here. They have made an offensive here. They've pushed around after defeating the Axe Sergeants. They've gone around. Pushing there, and they've actually also got spears that look like they're going up, but they're not now. They're coming back down. But is a was it a spear routier? Yeah, that's easy enough to kill. And actually, that spear routier is coming down. Oh, they're gonna do the same mistake that they've already done, like 3. Like this will be the 3rd time now. Cav is gonna just abuse this unit. Yep. Is any cav moving? Yeah, here it comes. Here comes the cavalry. Thundering forward. So they're going to engage with the spear again. And once again, it's going to be a rinse and repeat. This English player has not learned his lesson. It needs to be, I was going to say, he needs to engage it properly because with the infantry, because he doesn't want the spear to get, like, be able to turn and face. It hasn't. And there you go. Kind of has turned and face now, so they might take some losses here, but they are winning decisively. Here comes... Is there any more cav on the way? I thought that was the other cav unit going in, but it's not. The other one is sitting still, not doing anything.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Yeah, I wonder if these if they are Christian like knights serving the Almohads. I wonder if they've kind of got like some sort of, I don't know, they're having some sort of like crisis right now, like cutting down fellow Christians, but like and like not just fellow Christians, but fellow like Crusaders, Christians on crusade. They're fighting for their faith, but these guys are like defending, you know, their liege lord. Like honor or religious duty. Which one do you pick? They've won in this corner over here, though. Look at that. So, yeah, just like the constant firing of crossbows, which is going on here. You can see all these crossbows stacked up. They just gun down any crusader that's landed here, basically. Now the Muslims can push forward. And they are. They're going straight in. They're going to encircle these units on the wall. So we had a melee infantry that was pushing down the wall here. They've managed to beat, obviously, well, they had no longer engaging the spear because it's been... forced off the wall and it's been mauled by cavalry. So the swords carried on down. They are losing the weakened unit, but they are trying to chase these longbows and get them into melee. But the spear from the other side has now managed to do it instead. And these longbows, which have a lot of ammo left, are going to get kebabbed. They are trying to shoot that spear. They'd probably have a better chance of killing this one. As I say, these crossbows here probably can get probably a decent rear shot. I think they actually are now firing into that. Yep, I called that correctly. Yeah, they're shooting back at them. That actually might not be advantageous for the Muslims. They would silence this longbow on the wall. Probably they're going to lose a spear, which is still pretty key. It's still very close numbers. Both sides have 5,100 infantry, men left. Mostly infantry. Cavalry charge going in there. That's not a bad charge either. Light shock cav will still do damage, even a weakened state like that. They've hit those Elector Knights pretty nicely. What are they now going after? They're flying coming out of that. Where are they going next? They could go for these crossbows hit. I think that is their target, yeah. So hammer and anvil. Lovely stuff. These guys might have got some decent kills as well. I mean, rear charging like multiple units here. They're going to get this sword next. And they might break on that sword. I'm surprised they even made it this far. Yeah, they've engaged that sword, which is engaging the spears. Might break it, or they might honestly just... Yeah, nearly have, actually. 49, that probably is them done. They're going to go in for the shock infantry over here. What are these? More of the Brabazonian golden dags. But yeah, that was pretty impressive. That light cav has actually done some pretty decent damage. I have another one over here, which is still about half strength, just a bit over half strength. So, you know, there's still hope here for the defenders, that's for sure. And they've still got a couple of spears dotted about as well. They've got a double stack going on over here. This is another great target as well to shoot. Really now, actually they've landed all their crossbows, which, yeah, that's good. I would have kept maybe one or two outside the wall, because now you could have got really good side shots from, like, just anywhere here, and you could have just like side shot this heavy spear while and the other one as well while they engage your dismounted Elector Knight. That would have been the next sort of move. They have landed all of them, which is not a bad thing, and they have had a lot of joy from it. But I would have kept maybe Triers outside. Let Portugal land his, and then Triers could have kept his guys outside. We're now seeing reinforcements sending over. I'm actually sending over my tribesmen here, my javelins, which I've yet to use. I'm also sending my cavalry over here as well. Another charge there from the light shot cav. That's gone in. Going after the Brabazonians. And we've got crossbow fire on the side, which actually I think that crossbow fire from the Andalusian crossbows has done more damage to the cav than it has to the shock infantry. And then you go the spears. Interesting that he's charged the spears in. I'll just left them in shield wall. This is in shock. Excels against spears in 12-12. There is a battered, probably a battered Brabazonian already. He's been charged by cav, shot at.
Our men are breaking off.
It is triple bronze chevron though. It might honestly beat those spears. There's another one here as well, actually. So yeah, this is a pretty hard-pressed flank right now. Yeah, this spear should not have gone in, I don't think. They're jabbing away as well with the Maghrebi tribesmen trying to make a difference. They are actually, you know, I think killing these golden dags here pretty nicely. There's a bit of an offensive here as well. It's got crossbows being sent in by Trier, out of ammo, luckily. A triple gold chevron. I think it's a waste of chevrons, chevroning up your crossbows. Like, after like one chevron for a crossbow, really doesn't do anything apart from improve like melee attack, melee defense. As a crossbow, you're never going to match any generic infantry. Better off chevroning things like your cavalry and your infantry, which they have done a lot, but you could have done even more. There you go. I think these shock are going to break. Yeah, they're close to breaking. I was going to say that they did a lot of damage though to that spear by side charge again. It actually has turned that fight around for the Trier crossbows, which they otherwise wouldn't have won. But yeah, this golden dagger is going to die, but the other one is doing okay, and that's going to break the spear line here. Both are going to still have a one-on-one there. Situation really sort of taking place. 20 minutes left on the clock in this long old siege. I hope you still got snacks and drinks. It is 4,400 each. Literally, they are like really, really close on kills right now. Like I said, shows how close this game has been. The Crusaders have pushed the Muslims back to this little corner. It's very back and forth, this battle. The Spanish Order Foot Knights continue to fight against the heavy spears, I guess we'll just call them. Oh, there's a Castilian shield. I guess Spanish Order Foot Knights, yeah, they might. Yeah, they probably just didn't change the flag.
Men are running! Stand and fight, damn you!
There you go, they're winning that fight again. Yeah, the swords being beaten once again. It's that crossbow meta. Just set up your crossbows here and these guys have a bit of a like elevated position on this hill, so they're almost at the same height as the Spanish Order Foot Knights. And they can just shoot it up. It's just so, it's not broken, it's just such a handy strategy to have. And yeah, like, because of those crossbows, they've managed to keep the attackers at the walls most of this game. But yeah, I mean, they're thinning out stuff. There's not a lot of resources left. We've got one more spear to send in. This spear, I guess, is technically available, but it is actually guarding this gate, which has been knocked down. And there is cav that is constantly coming over to have a look and see whether there's an option to go in this way. I think they're going to find out in a minute. There is a spear waiting for them, so they won't be able to go running in there. But if they could just, if this spear did disappear, all of a sudden all the Christian cav could run in this way, and there is a lot of it. You've got 1, 2, 3. I've got a lot of English foot knights. Yeah, 3 English knights here. My gosh, brought a lot of cav actually. We've got 2 generals as well. So yeah, England brought 4 cav, which seems a crazy amount for a siege. The Spanish Order Foot Knights, yeah, got like 3 for Portugal. They have 7 cavalry. If they got all of those inside, it is over for the Muslims to get those in. Yeah, 4 is insane amount actually. You're not the Mongols. You're not a cav faction. tribesmen going in here again, proving their worth. They might beat the shock, actually. Incredible stuff they are. They can at least beat one of them. They're certainly not going to beat the dismounted elected guard, which has now arrived in their triple gold chevron. These guys are going to cook against my skirmishers here. In they go with their massive axes. Kind of hard to actually see because they're in purple. Especially all this blood and guts on the floor. Yeah, I was going to say, these guys, save ammo for these fellas. They are worth taking out. But yeah, they're combat even against the Maghrebi tribesmen, which are losing. Oh, oh no, they pulled back, actually. This wasn't even the full unit. The rest of it's over here. Yeah, they've like pulled back, and the Javis are able to get away. They managed to get the last volley off. Oh no, this is what's going to happen. Yeah, a much better idea. Let the Cav go in. Let them charge that elite shock. Oh, that was brutal. That's how you deal with a very elite shock unit. And that's why you have Cav on the defense. Such a handy sort of unit to have. Just the one. That's all you need. And it's done so much damage already to that dismounted elected knight. Or elected guard, I should say. And crossbows also shooting as well. We've got some... I think these have been brought over from the other flank. So yeah, we sent quite a lot of our stuff because we felt we were quite comfortable in where we're holding these guys. And yet they are being held nicely. Unfortunately, around this point, as you can see here, England actually crashes. So all of his English cavalry here is now running through the gate and is getting stabbed by spears. As you know, spears and cav don't mix. It is luckily held in their hands as this gate. Otherwise, it'd be getting oiled as well. But yeah, so this is kind of not doomed the attackers. Absolutely not, because it is still, like I said, a really close siege. It is certainly not good. A lot of cavalry that could have been used in the late stages if they'd broken in. I mean, they brought all this cav, like I said, and then never made a breach. Like, all the artillery ammo has been used now, I believe. Or is, like, very close to being used up. A breach has never been made. Crazy.
The men are running, cowards!
Yeah, they're trying to force their way through. I think it's just AI's trying to just like pull through almost. We put another spear there, though. It should hold. There's literally one here that just needs to go and stand there. The crossbows can go in. If they just blob this area, they should be absolutely fine. And oh, I thought finally they won this flank. We got long. I think this is the again AI just landed longbows and they got stuck in melee. It's unfortunate there for the for that team, for the Crusader team.
Our men are rallying.
Especially since these like longbows have a lot of ammo left. They've got like 2/3 of their ammo left. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, the Cav's now breaking. It's not good. That might help the balance of power because Cav does really slant the balance of power, to be honest. It's starting to even out a little bit, and they do have less men now. 2,900 against 3,700. It has been a big jump all of a sudden. There you go. The dismounted elected guard over here broken as well. I think that's been shot at. Don't know if it got charged like the other one. Caliph is here. He's leading the way. What's the Caliph going to go and do? He's going for a charge.
A unit is running from the enemy.
He's getting hit by artillery. They're trying to gen snipe the Caliph. How dare they? He's appointed by God. Where is he off, actually? For real. There's nothing over here for him. So yeah, actually look at this. The Almohad's gone back onto the wall. The Almoravids, I should say. They've gone back onto the wall. And they're just trying to silence these slingers, which is actually a really good idea. Be aggressive. There's not actually any melee infantry on this wall. It's all just like crossbows and slingers. As far as I can see, we've got crossbows over here that have gone into melee. These are all the heavy crossbows. They're going against triers, which are mediums. And then also, I believe, just some slingers.
The men are running,
which I think are lights, technically. So yeah, this should be an easy win here for the Andalusians. There you go, they disengaged. They want to use up what remains of their ammo, which is quite a lot. I have no idea what the Caliph's doing, by the way. He's just running around like a lunatic. He really is. Back over on this side, yeah, the gate battle is kind of just like built up, to be honest. The attackers, though, have got crossbows again on the wall here, and they are shooting into the side of this gate battle blob that is forming up. I didn't realize I was actually shooting with my artillery. I was shooting the wall. I've done more damage to the wall than the attackers have with my 11% there. I think I was trying to shoot the crossbow when it was outside the wall, and now I'm shooting it on the wall. Probably not helping the situation. It's getting desperate for the attackers. They dismounted the Spanish Order foot knights, and they're now dropping them on the wall here to be just infantry. It's not like Dawnless Days, or, well, what Dawnless Days used to be like, because they patched it as well. Where, like, if you dismount cavalry, you get the same stats as infantry. That's not the case. So we'll see how those quote-unquote cavalry do on the walls there. The ones in the streets are certainly not doing well. They are getting dismounted and either captured or killed by the Muslims pretty effectively right now. Yeah, more spears going in. These heavy spears are the perfect counter, to be honest, for the English knights. Really are like a solid unit. Again, over here, not so great. All these longbows are getting engaged. There are still some outside the walls. What is going on here? Oh, just militia. We've got here Irish thirds. So these Irishmen, well, probably hired by the English crown or someone didn't realise what they were signing up for. They thought they'd go to the Holy Land. They're in Portugal. Imagine that's what a lot of the Crusaders are thinking right now in this, I wouldn't say dire situation. It's still very even. They can still win this. They're doing the same on this side, the landing Spanish Order Knights. A lot of crossbows are actually firing on the wall here. They might win that. But yeah, if he died like in this like side quest of a crusade, you'd be pretty pissed. Didn't even die for the main event. Didn't survive the side quest, so you could live happily ever after with the sun in Portugal either. Spanish Order Knights. Getting those white uniforms all red. Covered in infidel blood. Well, what they called infidel. And then the Muslims would be like, well, yeah, they're the infidel. Maybe you both are. Maybe it's Buddhism. That's the true faith. Who knows? I mean,
our men have given up.
Why can't they all be?
Lives.
Why can't they all be the true faith? Oh, gen sniping going on here. There's some. This poor Caliph is getting. Oh, it's not the Caliph actually. This is a different one. It's Abid al-Mazghsan.
The enemy general is
He's
dead.
been absolutely like focused down.
Ammunition.
There you go. That's the English gen. He's died. I think just in that blob over there. At this point, we decide that we're going to have a bit of an excitement. We're going to come out the walls. We've got a general coming out here. We've got Qaid al-Asakir. He's coming out. Who we got here? We've got another Abid coming out. And then we've got some spears to join. So we're saying there's not one, not two, but 3 generals coming out here. We've even got the Caliph coming out as well, which is great to see. But Javi's coming out. Also, we're going to have another cavalry here come out as well. So yeah, a lot of cav being sent out. And he's going to take on Portuguese king Alfonso I here himself with some Spanish Order Knights, which have not yet been dismounted. And they've got some spears as well. Bit outnumbered, but there is a lot of medium cav here, which probably can do a lot of damage. Like these Western Knights are tanks of their age.
A unit is running from
and
the
they're
enemy.
Healthy, and they have chevrons. So we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. They get all their cav ready, then they'll be okay. This cavalry is very scary. 68 with a gold chevron. It's still very, very good. This is like, it's a heavy cav. It's the only heavy cav I think, or bar mine, that has been brought today. for the Muslims. Yeah, and the infantry as well, going to be very key. That's going to need to, you know, assist where it can. Oh, again, Javi's going over the wall. This is not even AI. That's just been landed there. Those Javis over the wall.
The men are running.
Whether they were scared of the Cavs selling out, so they just put them over the wall to go into the fight. They still had ammo. They're now down at crossbows on the wall. Sad to see, really is. Here we go, though. When I say here we go, they haven't really got set up. Portugal pushing, though, oddly enough. Really, Portugal just needs to stay near AI England here and hope that some of these, like, Irish and longbows might just turn around and help support. Like, the Irish Javis would be very handy in a cav fight. Yeah, weirdly enough, Portugal's going to push. Whether he does feel like, actually, you know what, I can maybe win this. If I get a good charge here and I can kill a general, like kill the right general, could maybe master out an army. He's stopped. Oh, no, there he goes. He has countercharged.
Our general is under attack.
Yeah, I think both sides pop brace as well. Oh, no, I pop brace. He did not pop brace. That's why he's losing. So, well, I say slightly. Yeah, I'd say relatively decisively. Oh, Warcry was popped. Oh, we brought one. Yeah, not the right one to bring. I mean, can be the right one to bring. Absolutely. I'd say Warcry is a valid thing to bring, but when you fight yourself in a cav fight, not what you want, basically. But yeah, I think it's not a bad one to bring, actually, to Siege, especially if you're trying to, like, break morale of lesser units. Just using it's always quite good. There you go, General gone. He's not dead, and we are retreating before the spears can do any serious damage to our generals. The Caliph there, helping out his commander. That's what a strong leader does. Doesn't run away like Alphonse I.
Men are broken and are fleeing.
Die with a sword in your hand, sir. These knights fight on even though their king has fled. Or at least a potential king. I don't know. It could be, you could argue it's the other one. The other Portugal on the other side. Yeah, there you go. They've managed to surround the cavalry there, defeat them. We've got Cav now dashing off. Well, they're routing here, mostly Irish. I think they might have been routed in the gate actually, and they're going to link up with everything in the gate. They're getting oiled because actually I still think it's the attackers that own the gate, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Be careful just doing that. That was very dangerous. Maghrebi tribesmen have arrived, actually, and they are jabbing the back of those spears. Here comes the king again. He's going to go straight on it. He's going to try and get a charge off here. It's a little bit scary because there is a medium shot cav with our general. Pretty good charge from a heavy. Could do a bit of damage. Love these, like, little jewel. Oh, rip in peace there. There you go. Shows you how dangerous they are. And there you go. Finally, he's fully broken. Is that Portuguese general there? And that should be the death of his army on this side, and that should be the death of his flank, you'd imagine. But yeah, numbers-wise, it's now 2,300 against 1,200. So yeah, still doable though, because they've got to get all the way over to these forces here. Portugal could. I think the Christians are going to win this side. Looking what's left, there is not a lot left. You've got generals dismounted on the walls there. Yeah, I think the Crusaders will win this. They've got way more units here. There's no like archer support to save the Christians. Oh, not the Christians, the Muslims now. Yeah, these spears, I'd argue the spears have been the MVP to this game. Them or the crossbows, which looks like they're finally losing on this wall here. They're getting chewed up by those Spanish Order Knights. But yeah, I think everything is pretty much landed. They've still got some cav outside the wall here. I'd drop these guys on as well. They've actually got the Archbishop here. Yeah, there he is. Oh, he's got a staff. That's so cool. He's not even got like a proper weapon. He's gone into war with a staff because he can't kill anyone. Just whack him over the head and give him a bit of a headache. Yeah, very, very cool. You could triple gold chevrons as well. But yeah, I'd land them. Or you could potentially, like, I don't know. You could dismount. Yeah, actually, you could dismount this medium shock, land on this wall, capture the gate, and then get your other general in, and you could start to do some work. And you could then remount the other cavalry if you wanted to. A bit risky. Probably wouldn't necessarily work now because this general is sort of loitering it, as is the other calves. So they could definitely, I feel like, do some damage to any cavalry that does, or like any unit that decides to land to capture the gate. Or they don't even need to land. They could just stand here, actually on the wall. So yeah, it's absolutely should be a valid tactic. They should do that. The Renners there. Or just land on the wall, because it seems like cavalry is having, like this amount of cavalry is having some effect. It's killing these crossbows. What a brutal siege this has been. It's all been fought at the walls, which is really fun. We don't often see that in a 12-12 siege. You know, like, siege has been won and lost at a wall. Often people fall back to the keep and like cheese it out there. It's been a really, really fun siege. Some of these guys in black, I think, are actually Hospitallers. Spears here encircled, and they're winning. I mean, they're fighting crossbows and slingers, so you kind of hope they would win. But still, that's kind of impressive. General yet to be committed, though. I think he's getting shot on the wall. Yeah, Andalusian heavy crossbows, I think, are shooting him and taking advantage. There you go. The crossbows have been defeated on the wall. They are now coming off the wall, which is dangerous because there's still cav alive for the defenders here. They've still got, you know, numerous generals. You'll see, still got the basic cavalry as well. They actually haven't defeated the guys on this side yet. So they are slowly getting there. And they've also brought all their run everything back in through the gate here. And I think the aim is just... Oh, I was about to say the aim is to capture this gate, but they've done it. They haven't done it, but they've killed off literally everything, just mass routed. That's unfortunate. Right at the end there. Now they have to run everything back the other way to go and help over here. But they are going to be needed. Spears be breaking. Shields will shatter. It's a sword day. A good day. And the sun is rising, as they say in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, one of the last infantry duels I think we're going to see today, because there isn't much left in the way of men for the Crusaders. They are now down to 500 against 1900. A decent charge there by Abid. He's going in, he's going to try and rout those guys there. But yeah, generally, I mean, for a long, long part of the siege, it felt like it was up in the air at points, because I felt like on this side they were losing quite a bit. We sent some forces over, and that sort of helped bail them out. We trickled some forces in now and then, tell them out like Javis and Cav. Oh, that's unfortunate. They captured the gate there and they just killed all those, you know, victorious troops. It's so unfortunate when that happens. They just. Yeah, you need to send like a weakened unit to take the gate, or just run everything back at the last second to prevent like a massacre. But yeah, They've captured the gate, and that's going to prevent us from going outside the gate. But that is pretty much the siege done and dusted anyway. Most of these units here are probably going to mass rout. It's just going to be Trier's Cav that's outside there. But yeah, it did feel really close. I think on this side, we held them really well. Like, our crossbows absolutely annihilated.
The men are broken and running for their lives.
Like the enemy, to be honest. They didn't really get very far, and they didn't really have anything to, like, counter. Once they got off, they didn't really have were never going to have a plan to sort of, like, you know, stop the Cav. Because even though they just landed off this one, if they did the same over here, it's not such a great terrain for the Cav charge, but we could still get it off here if we wanted to. So we had a plan in place. The only way I guess it could have been dealt with was if they had managed to, you know, get onto the wall, get crossbows onto the wall, and then we couldn't then charge with the cav, at least without taking severe casualties if they decide to come off. Or they take spears off the wall first, and then you have to kind of like maneuver them into a corner. That would have been a better corner to try and get spears off, and then just kind of hold that little corner, and that might have prevented a cav charge. Or if it, even if it did, and would have taken significant losses that we couldn't necessarily do cav charges later. This side, I thought they did pretty well with the attackers. I think they missed a few opportunities like breach making. Should have done that. And also, I think, like getting side shots with the crossbows. They were really insistent on getting all their cav up onto the walls. Oh, sorry, not the cav, their crossbows up onto the walls. Should have kept some outside, just the side shot stuff, which I think could have unlocked a few more streets and choke points for them. There you go. In goes our cav, I think. With 12 seconds left, I think either everything's going to mass rout or we're just going to see the timer run out, and I think the defenders will win. Though I'll technically say a draw, the defenders will have won because they've held the city. And there you go, a draw for the Almohad Caliphate. A very good victory for them. So yeah, well done to them. So yeah, technically the Crusaders, I guess, are going to get forced back in this sort of like assault, and they're going to have to continue to try and starve out the defenders of Lisbon. Kind of, I guess. History not really changed, but you know, maybe like prolonged for now. Maybe the Crusaders. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of like really good Crusaders. They probably have to pull back. To be honest, there's a lot of infantry that's lost, and there wouldn't be many troops that were going on to the Middle East, if any. They also, it could have been a very costly assault, and maybe they would have then left, go to the Middle East with the Crusaders. They'd have just got back on their boats and left. Those that were still alive. And then just left the Portuguese to have to retreat back to Porto. I mean, who knows what would have happened then? Maybe what was the Kingdom of Portugal would have been reconquered. Who knows? But yeah, very fun siege. I was playing in this one as one of the Almohad Caliphate armies. I got 120 kills here with my general, not too bad. 218 kills with the spears, 201 with them. Like, yeah, really good. The swords, terrible. They're just there for holding. But yeah, while the crossbows do all the work. 193. 208, 275, 291. They ate. My tribesmen, 191 kills, and then my cav, 262 kills. Very, very nice. Then we have Icky playing as another Almohad Caliphate army. 207 kills with one of his spears is good. His swords are a bit better, 120 kills. Then his crossbows, 225, 243 kills, and his cav, 236 kills. Then we have No Name playing as the third Almohad Caliphate army. 128 kills with his spears. Here's the best of those. And then his swords got 113 kills. His crossbows, 426 kills, 315 kills. He actually used his melee as well quite extensively. He got kills there as well. Aemon playing as the fourth and final Almohad army, leading with the Caliph, getting 216 kills. Very nice to see. 190 kills with his spears here is also very good. 124 kills with the swords, 173 kills, another one there. Crossbows, 250 kills, 160, 194. And his jabbies, 143 kills, 119. His cav, 89 kills. Not as good as I thought they were going to do. Then we have Ark playing as Trier, getting 84 kills with his like medium shock infantry. But like his elites, yeah, really let him down. 41, 56. They got cav charged badly. Elector Knights, 90 kills. And then his crossbows really doing the work here, like for him as well. 227 kills, 190 kills. Actually, one of his swords here, well, I don't know why they're also jumbled up. 149 kills with these swords here. And then he's got, yeah, crossbows, 146 kills. Yeah, they were his MVP. A bit like for us on the defenders, same for him as Trier. Blue Rock playing as one of the Kingdom of Portugal armies. I think he was facing off against me and Icky. Got 121 kills with the Spanish Order Foot Knight. Again, his crossbows, 258 kills, 213. His Jabby's actually got 150 kills. It's not bad either. Then we have Thundernut playing as England. Got some okay kills with his His longbows, 144, 110 kills. One of his knights got 121 kills. A bit unfortunate he crashed. Whether that would have changed anything as well, I don't know. I think we'd have still beaten them on our flank. It just would have been a little longer. But yeah, unfortunately he did crash because I think some of these kills would have been a bit higher then. And then we've got Jakku playing as the Kingdom of Portugal, the second army, getting 106 kills, 100 kills with his like feudal knights, and then his Holy Order knights getting 229 kills. 122, 148 kills. And his crossbows did very well, 367 kills, 225 kills. His slingers, 226 kills, 223 kills, 195 kills. And then his trebuchet got 148 kills. Again, I'm surprised they're going for kills with the trebuchet and not just trying to take out a breach. That would have been a bit better. But anyway, I hope you did enjoy the 1212 AD siege. If you did and want to see more 1212 AD in your life, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new on here, and a comment show your support. Make sure you hit that notification bell and check out the videos appearing on your screen now. I'm going to go and get a drink because my voice is killing me. But thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.